What if a person doesn't sleep for 30 days? Let us assume, for the sake of argument, that by not sleeping, you do not mean suffering from insomnia or taking short naps. We're establishing the baseline at absolute continuous wakefulness. This means your eyes are open, your cortex is firing, and you are maintaining the vigilance of a squirrel that has just consumed 3 shots of espresso. We're also going to assume you have somehow bypassed the biological hard stop that usually occurs around day 11, which is when the human body typically gives up the ghost to avoid further embarrassment. To achieve this state for 30 days, you are immediately violating the limitations of human biology and likely several subsections of the Geneva Conventions regarding the humane treatment of living subjects. The World Health Organization does not have a protocol for this because, statistically speaking, you should have collapsed into a coma 2 weeks ago. But let us say you are determined to push through. The short answer is yes, you can technically remain conscious, but you will be unhappy. During the first week, the adenosine buildup in your brain becomes a serious logistical problem. Adenosine is the metabolic waste product that tells your brain it is tired. Without the sleep cycle to flush it out, your neurons are effectively swimming in their own garbage. By day 5, your coordination resembles a giraffe trying to navigate a bouncy castle, and your hallucinations will be indistinguishable from reality. You might find yourself having a complex emotional argument with a toaster about the geopolitical stability of the kitchen. Actually, it is even worse. By day 15, the lack of restorative processes means your immune system has effectively resigned. You are now the biological equivalent of a petri dish left open in a warm, damp room. However, the real problem is energy. Your brain consumes about 20% of your caloric intake. Without the downtime of sleep to regulate thermal homeostasis, your skull is becoming a closed system with a heat dissipation problem. You are running a high-performance supercomputer with the cooling fan broken. Good news, you will not feel the organ failure. By day 25, the constant electrical firing of your synapses without a reset period begins to ignore the standard rules of biology and starts flirting with high-energy physics. The temperature inside your cranial cavity rises. To keep you awake this long, your metabolic rate has to ramp up to levels usually reserved for hummingbirds or burning magnesium. You are no longer generating thoughts, you are generating waste heat on an industrial scale. At this point, you are in violation of the fire safety code set forth by the National Fire Protection Association. The proteins in your brain begin to denature, which is a polite scientific way of saying they are cooking. The chemical bonds holding your neurons together surrender to the thermal pressure. The electrical resistance in your nervous system drops as the temperature spikes, creating a runaway feedback loop. In the final moments of day 30, the environment inside your skull ceases to be biological matter and becomes a state of ionized plasma. Your body is now a vessel containing a localized, superheated event. As the final synapses fire, the fluid in your eyes begins to glow with a faint, eerie blue light. That is not a spiritual awakening or the light at the end of the tunnel. It is Cherenkov radiation, caused by charged particles moving through the humor of your eye faster than the speed of light in that medium. You have successfully stayed awake for a month, but you have also briefly become a very small, very inefficient nuclear reactor. Would you like me to calculate how many cups of coffee it would take to reach this state before your heart explodes?